So if any black people want reparations
and want to stay a star, and don't want to have to worry about
tethers,
trying to be all in the videos,
speaking for black people,
dancing.
come to New Black Media and the Black Grassroots. Peace. All right, welcome once again to the Independent Black Voice. I'm your host, beatzillapdx official, and today we are talking about the non-FBA wake-up call that's happening right now because of these ICE situations, and it's really funny how fast everybody went to the it's about race card. Now, usually when everybody's so quick to pull out the race card, everybody is talking to us and say, hey, man, when you got to make everything racial? Well, in this case, we have a situation where these people are immediately deferring to the race excuse versus being here legally or not being here legally. And then going through the trouble to point out that they're only going after, which they say, they're only going after black and brown. Well, there's no black Americans in there. And of course, we have long been saying in this space that we are undeportable. Well, now that all of these situations have came about, you have a lot of these people who, with these questionable ideas, that keep floating the idea out there that somehow we're deportable. We are not. But you can't convince everybody, and that's all right. But people want to believe what they want to believe these days, and that's unfortunate. Because as you can see, it's going back to the 14th Amendment, which everybody's complaining about. And what they're selling you, especially the Democrats and all of these lying tethers, is that they're changing the amendment. They're not changing it. They're going back to the original intent. See, one thing about America's history is every time black people got something or a law was passed for black folks, there was always another mechanism put in place to undermine the validity of whatever change was made. So, you got black voting rights. They're going to somehow sneak white women in there. You got affirmative action. Again, they sneak white women in there. So let's be corrective action towards black folks. Not only do they squeeze women into that, but by way of using women, they also open the door for the LGBTQ, which also, if you remember, Bayard Rustin was telling you, because that was the CIA agenda, is they were going to replace the black struggle with the gay struggle. And they had Bayard Rustin, that perpetrating fraud, to continuously go out there and spew his Fed masters talking points to the black community. I went over his interview or his debate with Malcolm X on this channel. And seeing how he kept trying to steer the conversation certain ways, it was very obvious what he was doing. And you're not doing that out of your own volition. Nobody would ever believe that. That would be foolish. And we got enough of these bought and paid for shields to get out here and talk all of this nonsense. But now that something is actually happening in the reality of the sense, and here's my theory on Donald Trump. I remember when the campaign was going, Roland Martin made a statement about Trump ear hustling the black grassroots, meaning us. So he said that Trump was ear hustling there. Well, then if Trump was ear hustling there, How is it that, I mean, because you knew it was ear hustling when he called out the Haitians, right? In what is it, Springfield? So he was aware of it then. What so really, when y'all gotta get to crying and whining about, man, y'all need to come help us, y'all might need to call on your resident Haitian, Roland Martin. He seen the writing on the wall. He knew once Donald Trump was taking cues of what Black America wants from Black America versus Tethers, he could have told you how this was going to go because he's been here long enough to know. Or maybe these people have bought into these delusions, or maybe have just started figuring out they bucked the system and they're more like white, but they're really not. And I guess they're learning the hard way. Remember, we had that the one woman, her tune is so humble now, it's hilarious. She's some kind of Caribbean tether, kind of looks Nigerian, but she's some Caribbean tether who was, remember, she was doing the whole, I can stay here. Oh yeah, there's nothing you can do. I'm here and I'm gonna be here to stay. Now she's like, wow, I'm worried. Yeah, and all of that Haitian stuff y'all was talking. Yeah, they looking to get y'all up out of here. But remember, foundational Black American, especially Black men, quote, we're bullet bags. You know? We're so xenophobic. Right? We ain't the ones supporting you, but we're xenophobic. This is why, and I don't want to hear no, well, see, it's all divisive and all of this. Well, then why aren't your men out there fighting? You want us to come out and do this for you. Like security guards. I keep saying FBA is not security guards. We are not your mules. And that's what people still believe. That's a slave you're referring to. That you don't have any tie to this country, but somehow I could get the political cash from them. No, it doesn't work that way. And right now they're finding out the hard way that every way they thought it worked, it's that other way.
5-year-old Cuban national who died in ICE custody. He had lived in the United States for 60 years. He was being held in ICE detention in Florida. Is there anything you can tell us about that? There's still not a lot of information, how he died.
I'm unaware of that. I'm not aware of that. Okay. I mean, people die in ICE custody. People die in county jails. People die in state prisons. I mean, if you look at, when I was ICE director and we drilled down that, the question should be how many lives does ICE save? Because when they go into detention, we find many with diseases and stuff that we deal with right away to prevent that. So I'm not aware of that specific case, but I'll say this. People can do me all they want, but the facts are the facts.
Well, how about that? He's not sure of the facts. Yeah, and people die in our prisons all the time, especially Black Americans. No one has ever complained or cried or said, we need to stop mass incarceration of African Americans. And I use that word because that's what they would use. But, foundational Black American freedom. But here we are now that they are getting the brutal reality wake-up call. And here's another byproduct of actually their previous disdain. The way they are coming out expecting Black people just to jump in front of a tank for them. Now, I find that to be quite amazing. I find that to be very interesting. It's a very cheeseball way of doing things. Now, what I want to do tonight, I want to revisit. Well, not revisit. We're just going to be looking at some more of these videos from these tethers that have so much to say about the people to whom they had so much disdain for. But now they need, Black Americans. Now everybody's Black. And it's divisive to do anything different. Why are you being divisive? Why are you you're aiding the white man? Oh, you're helping white supremacy by not helping us. And I don't understand. Why would you want to help the white man? It ain't helping the. See, that is a cop out and a cowardly way of expressing yourself. Ain't no white. That's not how you plead to strong people. And that's another thing to kind of show you these folks. Okay, here's another thing. We're so divisive in all of this. The only thing I'm seeing that they are stressing about is us not fighting for them. Everything else can be divided. Wasn't there just a Haitian that won something? They're like, oh, a Haitian American, this and that. But here it comes now. Well, you guys aren't going to come to Haiti's defense? Man, you're divisive. No, it doesn't work that way. It just simply doesn't work that way. But there's a lot of these black tethers out here coming telling lies. And I would just like to point out the fact that who is it that's trying to convince us we're going to be deported? Is it white America? Is it Black America? Or is it Black immigrants? What do you think? And, they like to come out and say, this is an attack on our citizenship. How? How could it possibly be an attack on our citizenship? Our citizenship isn't in question. So how many of these people that are here that are complaining, whining right now are actually tethers? And I'll go back to what our brother Arthur, was that Arthur Watkins on the Freedman from X. And he said that, he's starting to see why a lot of these people have chose to move away from the freedman status and want to simply focus in on Black American. Well, foundational Black American, ladies and gentlemen, is tied to the census. So that lineage would be here. Even some of these people would be listed as property in some of these older records. And they went from property to free. Guess what that doesn't make them? Immigrants. Not immigrants, nor their descendants. They're foundational to this land because you needed to bring them here to build it. And for all of you brain dead idiots out there, you have a nation of people working for 300 plus years for free. And you're going to say that didn't build anything. That is idiotic to even state. And here's the truth of the matter. Your little peasant ass families had to come across the Atlantic to a new world that you couldn't build. The Moors left y'all hanging and the Moors got ran out of there and everything went to shambles. You got cities built on top of cities because they don't want to escape or get rid of the foundation that was laid in the first place. So, yeah, there's that. But anyway, let's start hearing and reacting to some of these videos. I guess I'll start with Colbert.
What's at stake is our citizenship. Now, I talked about the citizenship of women, but the citizenship of Black people is on the ballot when we are looking at what's already happening across the country when Republicans have that trifecta, like in Louisiana, where there is a bill now that's law where the police can stop you under the suspicion of you being an illegal immigrant. Now,
Again, see how they keep trying to weave Black Americans into Black immigrants? Black Americans are not immigrants, and white Americans know the difference between us. you have to be an immigrant to believe different. Because that's like the only time you really hear that nonsense.
We want to trust MAGA cops. We're having this conversation about what police.
We want to trust MAGA cops. I'm sorry. When did ICE become MAGA? When did the police force become MAGA? Was the police force MAGA under Joe Biden? Was it MAGA under Barack Obama? That was a weird statement and completely false and actually stupid. But because, again, there is no, and you guys always put Reese Colbert on TV. It's amazing to me. And then when she has to actually answer something solid, instead of admitting that there might be a nuanced answer, she'll just filibuster and start cussing a lot, and then turn into she does a sassy black woman routine. So when she doesn't have anything to say, then it's gonna be, oh, let me pick out something to shame. We'll hyper focus in on this irrelevant point, and then watch me get sassy about it, and then I'll somehow get back to the wide, bigger picture conversation, but use this as my tool of answer. And that's Reese Colbert in a nutshell, folks. If she's stuck, it's turn on the sass and turn up the cussing. So she'll use a whole lot of, like when she really has nothing, oh, it's going to be bunch of sassy MFs. She going to drop the M. But mind you, remember I tell you this, folks, when y'all watch Reese Colbert in the future, watch when she's out of gas. When you hear her cussing and doing all of that, MF and the mother and the son of a mother and he dirty mother and all these tramping mother. Yeah, that's when she is out of gas. Just listen, pay attention. That's when she knows she is out of gas. See, right now, because she's in a form to where she can't do all that cussing, she's kind of running out of words to use because she's full of shit.
Policing has done to our communities with being able to parse between a Haitian or an African American. I don't trust that. And so yet we are going to be subjected in certain states to that kind of policing.
And just to be clear, we don't want our Haitian brothers and sisters subjected to that as well.
Absolutely not. No, absolutely.
Yeah, that's not my problem. Now, again, I will say it like this. We are focused in on our situation. Now, Tiffany had to put that out. Well, we don't want them out there like that either now, you know. Yeah, well, nobody's been coming to Black People's Rescue. And I seem to remember us having Ice Cube a few years back with his contract with Black America. And he couldn't get the support from Black America because the Democrats weren't part of it. And having something for Black people got turned into, why ain't there something for Black women? And that whole debacle. No support of what actually was for Black people. I want y'all to know that's that 92%. That's the Reese Colberts. And they get out here, talk hella sassy, like after people got pissed off how we actually got screwed by the last administration. And then they'll still come out here, he's stuck on stupid because he really did something. Let me tell you something also. Reese Colbert and every other liar in your crew, Karen Hunter, what's the other dude, and Favors. All of you guys are hacks. And Karen Hunter at some point was actually a legitimate journalist. This is ridiculous. And Karen Hunter, stop talking about you are a doggone independent. No, you're not. You are Black Star Boule. And so whatever the DNC is talking about is what you're talking about. Let me hear you say that Kamala Harris really ain't Black. But y'all gonna ride with that line and force it and insult actual Black people for this cosplaying Democrat because you're pushing the Democrat line, not the Black line. Just like Reese Colbert right here. And now she's trying to use fake Black fear-mongering tactics. Let me remember, and she's up here talking to Tiffany Cross. These are people who have said disrespectful stuff to black men. So now all of a sudden we're supposed to start caring about the ilk of these tether women and they people? Huh.
Yeah. So I think that what we have to get away from is this xenophobic us versus them attitude within our own community and realize that.
Whoa. See, again, now see, that's the lie and the trick of the devil, like Reese Colbert. They come to you with this lie, but they serve the devil, y'all. That's what I'm trying to get y'all to see. Their whole agenda is pushing anti-black empowerment, regardless of what they sell you. That's why you hear, family, what if I always told you? When they know they don't have a point, the only response they can bring you is, you trying to do the white man's bidding. You doing the work of the white supremacists. Okay, how? You know, I ain't got no time to be explaining things. I mean, what you need to go do is get you some education. Remember, we didn't understand civics. And then an election denier, we heard all of that crap. Now, again, I guess they forgot their own election denying, like Hillary Clinton and Stacey, suspected African Abrams. And now here's Reese Colbert. Colbert is a French last name, so maybe she got some Haitian roots.
The citizenship that we somewhat enjoy, to a certain extent, right, is on the ballot because they're trying to take this nationally. When Donald Trump is attacking Haitians in Springfield, Ohio, he is attacking legal immigrants. He's saying
they were not legal. And a matter of fact, as of now, I believe there might be deportation orders for them because their TPS has been revoked. So Reese Colbert, they were not legal. They had temporary coverage, and some of them did, not all of them, because see, if all of them were there that had coverage, why would they leave? Why would they flee? And since then, we had Haitian people talking about dog eating is part of their culture. It's not new. Like bushmeat in Africa. They eating giant rats and them other rat-looking creatures. They be eating them things. I'm good.
Going to revoke their citizenship. Project 2025, Donald Trump wants to revoke birthright citizenship. And so
not for, see, it's not revoking birth, and that's really grossly dishonest. It's not revoking birthright citizenship. It is honoring the actual law and its intent. There was no Haitian, there was no Cameroonian, there was no Trinidadian. None of this was going on at the time that this law was made. And everybody, especially these Negroes, they want to act like they don't know why this was made and then start changing the meaning. So that's a rewriting of history, Reese. And that's not honest. And so watch what she just did. She lied to you, but first how she set up her live is she threw Project 2025 in your face. And then immediately chased it with a lie. Yeah, that one's not true, Reese.
Literally, we could be faced with having to walk around with our papers to prove that we are.
You would have to walk around with your paper like freedom papers. Is that what you mean, Reese? Like freedom papers? You'd have to walk around with your papers. I walk around with my ID every day. I don't think anybody in my house leaves without identification, because that's one thing you're supposed to have. I leave every day with my cards and my identification. I'm well prepared to identify myself wherever I go, to and fro. You know what I mean? So I don't know, Reese. You kind of lost me on that one.
Are citizens, and that is no longer enjoying the remnants of citizenship that we have already. And so to me, it's that serious.
What? Okay. These people are just this is gaslighting 101, family. There is really nothing legitimate here. Just fear. Well, why should we fear? Well, this could possibly happen, and this could possibly be. It's never been done in history, and it's not what they're talking about. But, we just speculate over here that they could possibly do this and possibly do that. Oh, everybody's going to die. Just like this USAID thing that they're going to cut everybody off of Medicare. And I really wish y'all stop saying how many people are going to die. And then in the same breath, turn around and say, well, they weren't giving things to illegals. The reason why they are crying about all of these cuts is about illegals being cut off SNAP benefits and health insurance. So the people who are getting cut off of Medicaid are those illegals who were not supposed to be on it in the first place. They're not telling you that. And I'm sitting up here in Portland, Oregon. I can tell you exactly how this last administration's agenda has totally screwed our cities over. Our kids' schools are jacked up. They're cutting teachers and administrators and boosting class sizes. Why? Because this place is broke. Why, though? Nobody wants to be honest. Everybody's at a deficit. 60 million here, 100 million here, 80 million there. Another 40 million. Oh, we miscalculated. We're worse in the hole than we thought. This is what I'm seeing right here in my city. My city. Oh, yeah, not to mention. Oh, yeah, the transportation. Yeah, you guys are screwed. We can't even fix our streets. Can't get the potholes fixed because all of this money went into promoting sanctuary cities and transgender blah, blah, blah. And they're going to act, where did all this money go? Oh, yeah, by the way, though, they've had millions of dollars for projects that are you hearing me? Already had the money. For homeless, we have a homeless crisis ever increasing. They pocketed just palmed the homeless funds and didn't do anything. So while making a big deal about, well, we got all this money, they didn't do anything with it. Then for the program that the taxpayers actually willfully paid for the Black youth and the Black Excellence Project, oh, guess what they did with that money? And you got community leaders trying to get answers, and the city's over here like, beep, 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 beep. Ain't nobody got no answers. They just letting the music run. So that's things, two different situations that could have actually been moved upon because they had the money allotted for it. But look at where their focus and energy went. So it's time to stop with the, it's Project 2025. Nobody cares, Reese. We care about the doggone money. And right now, if getting our money back in the right place requires mass deportations, yeah, that's got to happen, Reese. Let's hear this next one because these people got it so wrong. Let's go.
Americans, immigration, and citizenship. I've seen some very interesting takes and comments. One of them being people facetiously saying, oh, where are they going to deport me back to? Mississippi, Alabama? An actual video that I saw that was very alarming was someone saying, oh, they wanted us here. Excuse me? The only want plus here plus us equals to be used as chattel. It was as a result of
Have you been chattel slavery in your lifetime? No. Do they still want you here? Clearly. Look at all the prisons. Is all the prisons in America? That's why would that indicate to you that they wanted black people gone? You got, and this is what's so crazy about these little weird bootleg tea sippers. She's in here like she's using this. I saw a video. Hey, ma'am, you look like you're one of those spiritual people. It didn't dawn on you the spiritual nature of what's going on with your head wrap and all, and you're not wearing any makeup. I guess you're trying to do the natural black woman thing, and you have a message for Black America while doing it, but you didn't yet perceive that there was a spiritual implication into this. Huh. If our energy and spirit has helped to cultivate this land and its regard on the planet, what actually points to them wanting us gone?
Resistance, us learning how to read, although that was illegal and could cost you your life, us pushing back, us fleeing oppression, that we were able to get rights, something they have never wanted for Black Americans, which is...
Ooh. Yeah, see, as a Black American, one word that is not in our vocabulary. Did y'all just catch that? Let me give it back to you one more time. There's a word she just used that we absolutely do not have in our vocabulary.
Learning how to read, although that was illegal and could cost you your life. Us pushing back, us fleeing oppression.
Whoa. Ma'am, a slave revolt is actually hands-on and very brutally bloody. That's called resistance. That's called a fight. That's called war. That's called justice and righteous indignation, ending your oppression by slaying your oppressor. That's how they had to get free when they got free. Getting free and everything that I just said. One word that's not in that is flee. There is no Black American who fled. Foundational Black Americans remained here. We didn't flee. We fought. Fighting oppression and fleeing oppression is most definitely not the same thing, ma'am. But go off.
That we were able to get rights, something they have never wanted for Black Americans.
We weren't able to get rights. We made it so. See, this is the type of tether talk that we don't need in our midst. We do not need a colonized mind, and they don't understand how dangerous they are. But family, here's another colonized mind, and she thinks she's talking deep, but everything she say gives away the fact that she's not coming from the people who fight oppression. She's coming from the people who conceded to oppression. They are colonized. They're done. That's why she's over here trying to make it seem like, well, we did this and we did that. Not your ancestors, ma'am. I can already tell by the way you talking, your ancestors ain't from here. No.
Which is why the wealth gap is so huge, which is why we populate.
What? Now she's just getting into talking points. This is why the population, the wealth gap is so huge. The wealth gap is huge because the slaves never got reparations. Reparations has been due for quite some time and still hasn't happened. That's funny. See, so in the time, now notice this, while they'll always talk about, well, the citizen and the history of this country, Notice that each and every one of these people refuse to mention reparations, but they're talking about immigration and xenophobia. And fleeing, by the way.
Prisons over every demographic. No, you may not be deported to Alabama, but you may be Khalif Browder. Some of us couldn't even keep grandma's house, and y'all are going to convince me that you were able to still keep your grandfather's birth certificate?
Uh-oh, there's another thing. Why would they perceive that this, again, I always will tell y'all, this is a dead giveaway of a tether. We have something in this country called the United States Census. Clearly, her family doesn't know what the census does. So if you don't know what the census does, I can say that your family probably aren't citizens because you're unaware of the census. You're saying that I would need to find my great-grandmother's birth certificate? What does she think America is? I had a driver earlier this week. Just had to get a car yesterday. And I'm like, these immigrants do not understand how it works here. And it's funny, like, damn, you're like big children running around here now. Y'all never learned America. You came over here, said, okay, let's crap on the black people. We're good money. Kiss white people's ass, and we're good. Y'all don't have no understanding of this damn country, how it works, all the different nuances of it. When we tell y'all and try to warn y'all forever, you know that people don't really fool with you, right? You katas, you jareers, you bullet bags. Check your people. Don't come around here checking us. And on top of that, don't try to fake it like you're us to check us. That's even worse. Like this woman here, that's clearly not FBA. But notice what she did. I'm going to put on my head wrap and I'm going to take off my makeup and I'm going to cover my forehead so you can't see the hairline, but I'm going to make sure you guys can look, and I'm going to look my most black. And so now I look like I'm about to turn off this video and turn on some Erykah Badu, and you guys going to catch the vibe. Jesus Christ.
Your grandfather's birth certificate? Because that's what they're going after. The proof that your ancestors were actually born on this soil, not brought here. When it comes to
wait, what? Let's hear that last part again. Wait, what did she just say?
That your ancestors were actually born on this soil, not brought here. When it comes to black.
Okay, that's what I thought she said. Okay, ma'am, you said you want to find out if your ancestors were really born here or brought here? Do you perceive our ancestors could have been brought to the country of America? And that's how slavery happened? Is that what you believe? Tell me you're a tether without telling me. Jesus. Come on, man. And y'all don't in the comments, don't even tell her what's wrong. I don't want nobody seeing what's wrong. Let them continue being wrong. They ain't us. So, let that go. I posted something on my page. I posted some chow chow. And, that's something that really only country folks gonna know. I don't expect no tethers to get it. And realistically, white people know what chow chow is. He gonna say, this cat gonna be like, man, I don't know, man. We should keep some things to ourselves. Shut your ass up. These people aren't paying attention to, this chow chow. Like I said, chow chow is a country thing. And it ain't just black country folks eating chow chow. Primarily Arkansas, really. That whole that backwoods area. And there's backwoods white folks that do the same thing. Crazy. But I don't think mind your own self. As men out here, please stop getting on the internet and getting on people's pages, telling another grown man what you feel they shouldn't be doing. You sound like a woman, fam. Knock that shit off. Man, we really shouldn't be exposing these things. And hey, man, we on this mic for real. You're on the sidelines. Sit your ass on the sidelines. Stop being an armchair producer. And again, if there's something that I'm saying and I'm talking to my folks, it's literally a conversation with the family. And the way I phrased it as well, like, yes, people are going to, but again, they're not going to dive into, because it's cuisine. You do realize Tethers ain't really fooling with our food. That's another place where they draw the line. They're going to go back and eat their stuff because that's what they did. When have you ever went to a soul food restaurant and seen a gang of Africans in there? Or a gang of Caribbeans, for that matter. You haven't. Shit. I just calm down with it. Really. You're out here doing way too much. So, of course, it's not just going to be, and I didn't have this guy's picture on here, but we finna get to this guy's video. This is a few minutes long, but we'll try to let it roll for the most part.
Shut the fuck up sometimes. The U.S. immigration.
Now, let's back up and see where you started is where you should have started and ending applying with yourself, brother.
Learn when to shut the fuck up sometimes.
And right now is one of those moments for you, sir.
The U.S. Immigration Department was actually created during chattel slavery so that only white people could be citizens of the United States.
Damn, that's wrong. Yeah, not actually historically accurate. And then they get up and see it was there to just make sure only white people were citizens. Okay. Yeah, and that will be airing tomorrow. Is the conversation with that me and Church of Black Power had with the suspected tether, Kwame, because Kwame was talking exactly like this dude, wasn't he? Wasn't he trying to make the exact same point? Yeah, they was Kwame and to this guy. This was the purpose of the 14th and 13th Amendments.
I want to point out that in the 14th Amendment, it does not say all persons born in the United States become citizens of the United States. It's all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof. That amendment was passed coming out of the Civil War. There's a reason it was passed coming out of the Civil War. Congress was afraid that the Democrats would try to undermine the results of that war by forbidding former slaves from voting. And clearly.
Okay, and buddy, so like you just started with what you said, sometimes people need to learn when the time is and shut the F up. Well, this is one of those times for you, sir, because you, number one, got it wrong. That was, again, about Black people who were just free having the right to vote. And you are aware that those people actually immediately got active in Congress in politics, right? You do know that, right? I mean, while you're telling us, like you're educating us, these are things you must already know because you're talking to Black America about Black American history. So you obviously have studied the facts of what you're saying, right?
Every ounce of U.S. immigration history is about white supremacy and maintaining white supremacy and maintaining chattel slavery, even through our United States prison system. The Naturalization Act was created in 1790, the same year the U.S. Census was created, the same year the Patent and Trademark Office was created. Immigration is white supremacy. That is what that department does. It has no other function. There is no such thing as becoming a U.S. citizen the right way. The only right way is to be white, like a Ukrainian.
Again, you should have stopped when you started. All you're explaining now is white supremacy. That's not the this guy's acting like he done discovered the wheel. What you are explaining is exactly why foundational Black Americans have been fighting over the past years for reparations, my guy. What do you think you're even doing? You're saying, well, you know, it's about white supremacy. Well, then fight it. And if you're talking about mass incarceration, then I'm assuming you're going to address Joe Biden and his connection to Strom Thurmond and Hillary Clinton's ties to the Dixiecrats. Right? Because those were pro-segregationists, you know, or Margaret Sanger and Bill Gates, you know, the people that want to eradicate the Negroes. You know, that part of white supremacy, Planned Parenthood, genius. See, suckers are born every day. And unfortunately, sometimes they can get cameras and now they just look like a old gray moist version of Shaka Amos.
Like Donald Trump's grandfather, who was an illegal immigrant, but could still naturalize in the late 1800s because of whiteness, because he was from Germany. You see how that works? Second largest ethnic group of white people in the United States are Germans, which voted for Donald.
Oh, damn. Tell me you're a tether without telling me you're a tether. Family. And this, of course, is tape delayed, but I want y'all to put in the chat. I really want y'all to put in the chat. I wish I could have y'all on the screen, but because this is tape delayed, I can't. But please, 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 please put in the chat for me what policy of white supremacy is he actually talking about? He's this is a Tariq hater. I can tell that right now. This is the Tariq Nasheed hater. He's going out of his way to talk about everything. It's really simple, bro. It's simply called, family, let's all tell them together, y'all. This is called I'm white and I say so. Now you understand the principles of white supremacy. All of this long soliloquy, this is what immigration is for. So is the Supreme Court. This country is founded with slaves in active slavery, property. This country has always been this, but your family still fled here. Right, bro? So there was something to come here to get off of those exploited Black people, right? Yeah, you leave that part out though, friend. But like I said, you probably should have stopped when you started.
Trump, because he was German, and told Black and brown people not to vote for Kamala because she was a Black person.
No.
Y'all see how that works?
No, 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 no. No, 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 no. All of a sudden, Donald Trump said don't vote for Kamala because she's a Black person? Family. I'm sure by now the chat's already ringing. Brother, Trump even know Kamala ain't Black. And all of Roland Martin, you got another one of your followers here, man, that missed the memo. Why didn't you tell your guys, man? Why didn't you tell your people, Roland Martin? This ain't gonna work out well for y'all. Y'all gonna act like, oh yeah, and you Johnny come lately with these whack-ass TikTok videos acting like y'all know our history. Y'all don't know shit. And this is a terrible display. Matter of fact, let's take a break from this moron. So, hey, brother, there's a fella in this country that you might not be too keen up on, because I know fleers don't really get into militant stuff, but this guy might have a little something that you might want to listen to.
If we tell you when you apologize, it's not enough. Oh, you trying to pimp us and hustle. No, reparation ain't pimping. Reparation is what we deserve for the pain and anguish that you have caused us to suffer. No. But you won't do that. You won't do justice by us. That's why judgment is on you now. That's why you can't live a day without another calamity. And they're not going to stop. It's going to get harder and harder, because the God of justice has claimed us, Kyrie and Ye and Durant and Barkley and Shaq. We belong to God, not you.
Yeah. See, we talk about reparations over here, buddy. You know, the financial part of it. You're talking about immigration. That's not a conversation that has anything to do with Black Americans. Immigration laws started during slavery. Well, we understand why that 14th Amendment is there, though. So you're talking about immigration's always been this. America was that at the time. So this was done then. Weren't there still slaves in slavery for actually, technically over 100 years, but actively, you know, on plantations, full-fledged like that, everywhere, up until, like, of course, Texas with Juneteenth. You're about 70 years early, buddy. So what about the people who were in captivity on plantations at the time to where you're referring? Shouldn't they have some kind of recourse? Oh, no. See, this is dirtbag scumbag stuff that this guy's doing. Let's ignore the harm done to those Black people to talk about people who fled their homelands to come live on exploited labor, the benefit from exploited labor, free labor at that. But here I'm going to come in here. It's white supremacy. White supremacy. Dude, you need more than just using the words, man. You got to have some understanding and energy behind it, which you have none. Which, that's not really shocking from a moist tether. But go off.
It's a whole lot of word games, but you guys really need to read history a lot more, because everything about the history of immigration in the United States has been about racism and white supremacy. United States race was created from the Naturalization Act. Only white people could be a citizen. White landowning men. Naturalization Act of 1790. Look this shit up.
1790. Where were your ancestors, sir? Because mine, I can't help but notice all of this time about 1790. You are neglecting to mention that there was still active chattel slavery. And he's trying to make it seem like immigration is about white supremacy, but he's talking about white supremacy while omitting or eliminating foundational Black Americans in chattel slavery at the exact time to which he's trying to point to you. This is about white supremacy. Then what was slavery about, genius? Since at the time that you're referring to, these people were only seen as property. So again, that's a low-key, high-minded talking point, fella. And you probably should have stopped when you started, like you said.
Dred Scott was based on the legal precedent set by the Naturalization Act of 1790. After the 14th Amendment was passed to overturn Dred Scott, African Americans did not become citizens until the Naturalization Act of 1870.
Oh. Wow. Okay, family. Y'all remember when so again, we just went over this Dred Scott decision. Isn't it coincidence that this dude hops up on my channel saying the exact same wrong information as the dude in this video? Isn't that interesting? And not only that, they all jump over to here. Look at the fourth stanza in this. Here it is. Okay. Did you look? Yeah, I see you're stuck on 4. Did you skip down to number 7, where it literally clarifies Dred Scott as being a person's citizen? He's not a citizen to have his rights honored by a white man, but is he a citizen of the United States as a person? Yes. So again, that whole immigrant thing, you see what he's trying to do? He's trying to tell you that slaves were immigrants. Yeah, shout out to you, Kwame. Thanks, because had you would have not came up here earlier, I wouldn't have been able to just dismantle this dude that easy. If this ain't true, by the way.
Look that shit up. Naturalization Act of 1870. Follow me? It took until the 1920s for Native Americans to become citizens of the United States in their own fucking country. Right?
Hey, when did chattel slavery, the descendants of chattel, you notice he still has not mentioned the descendants of chattel slavery. Immigration laws started during slavery. That's the only mention of slavery that he has. He's talked about Native Americans, which, are you talking about the white ones or are you talking about the black ones? So this is that same lie. It's literally the exact same lie. And but listening to him speak, because yeah, I guess you had to be a little careful, Kwame, because you actually actively talking to black people, so you minded your words. But this guy, he talking freely, and look at who he's ignoring and leaving out. He's leaving out foundational black Americans. These people, you can't hide, and it's funny. All of these people. That's why when I post something, I see these weirdos always bring it up Tariq. That go to show, because FBA, brother, our lineage. That man coined the phrase. Yep, he was able to patent it. He was able to copyright it just for his own purposes. And then guess what he also did? Since you talk about you got to copyright it, no, the lineage is tied to the soil and to the blood. The blood that runs through your veins and your family dynamics and your DNA don't change because of a man putting a title on that said lineage. That is just stupid. But you tethers are incredibly whack. And you have your point of references are so screwy. It's easy to spot you out. The shit y'all say, you ain't fought a day of nothing in your life. But you come out here and like, it's white supremacy, white supremacy, white supremacy. Shut up. Ain't lifting a finger to fight white supremacy. This is all about bitching and crying and whining and moaning to black America to come and bail your bitch ass out. I'm good.
Right. Asians did not become citizens.
Now you're talking about Asians.
Until the 50s. And some Asians did not get their citizenship. It was being challenged until the 1964 Civil Rights Act. The first year in the United States.
Damn. All he could talk about is the thing he talks about in reference how everybody else benefits. from what black folks went through and fought for. What a douchebag.
That people could self-select their race was 1970. Look that shit up. Immigration is racism. Stop saying that they're two separate things. Everything about why brown people are being kicked out of this country has everything to do with the reason black people were enslaved, and black people fought alongside native people in Mexico, which used to include Texas and California and the entire Southwest, and Florida, which was owned by this
Hold on, what
are being kicked out of this country, has everything to do with the reason black people were enslaved.
Wow. What do they teach these tethers? I don't even understand the connection he just made. What? If anybody knows who the hell this guy is, show him this. What is he talking about? That's the whole reason why we were enslaved. What the fuck are you talking about? Immigration is why black people were enslaved in America? Is he on drugs? First off, we built America. America didn't exist. And then there was a whole Moorish. Oh my God. I guess he still believes everybody came here on ships too. Okay.
And black people fought alongside native people in Mexico, which used to include Texas. And
black people fought in every war in this country, including Independence Day. Genius.
California and the entire Southwest, and Florida, which was owned by the Spanish. Black and brown people revolted against the Spanish together, which led to the abolition of slavery.
Whoa! Whoa! No! No! Not hardly. Led to the abolition of slavery where? He's trying to use these loose talking points. That wasn't in America, brother. You ain't finna say, well, this is why and black and brown people fought alongside to get free in America. So, no, that didn't happen. Where are you getting this from? There were no brown people in Reconstruction even. Well, maybe very few, but in slavery? Hell no. Oh, you really don't know the history of this land.
Mexico was the Southern Underground Railroad. Mexico abolished slavery in 1829. Galveston was part of Mexico. Read. Stop saying fuck shit on the internet. Black and brown unity. Later.
Boy, please. What's this nigga's name? Yeah. Y'all go let this nigga know what's happening. Yeah, shut up, weirdo. I'm really. I have a very low tolerance for bitch made sounding dudes. Very low tolerance. Yeah, because this is shut your bitch ass up. I can't stand that. No, it ain't. Stop lying on our freaking history, dude. Well, yeah, black and brown fought against black and brown people fought side by side to abolish slavery. What the hell is he talking about? I mean, the reach and leaps of logic going on here is incredible. Let's hear some more, though.
Africans and anyone who is foreign, keep y'all head up, okay? That's why I make these videos, to uplift us, okay? While they rejoicing in deportation efforts and all of that, they're facing the highest eviction rates that they've ever faced. The only
I just, matter of fact, let's let her get the entire screen, because one thing she wants y'all to know, that, you know, it's still F Black America. They just needed to see if we would come out and help And now that she realized we won't, I guess she says, well, hell, they still ain't shit. So I'm going to do my video for my Africans and my Caribbeans. Y'all keep your head up. F these FBAs. Let's hear some more.
The way that they can have a fair chance is to hope that we get deported, because we came to this country, we did what needed to be done, and we made the best out of the efforts and the benefits that they ignored. They were born here and they weren't ahead of us. We came here and we passed them. And instead of them taking accountability, black and white, they always want to log in and shit on us. Baby.
I'm sorry, I can't even get through what she talking about. Yeah. We got a few words for you. And it goes a little something like this. Hashtag fire up the jet.
Happy birthday, we're celebrating you today. Like Dr. King holiday, we ain't gonna do any work today. Happy birthday today, it's your beautiful day. And we gonna party all day like it's a freaking holiday.
Yeah, somebody call ICE on this broad ASAP. We don't need no tethers here like this. And this is exactly why we talk about tethers. She is the poster child for tethers. Oh, yeah, because, you know, instead of taking responsibility for the stuff, bitch, you fled. Your people didn't take responsibility for your damn homeland. You over here in America. Coming up. And then, oh, yeah, and then they get online. And we don't have to get online. They got planes for your punk ass. See ya.
It's so damn hot outside. They're facing evictions left and right. This country is throwing its poor blacks and whites out on their ass if they can't pay their rent. They're not paid livable, decent wages. So that's other shit that they could be focusing on, fighting for better wages, fighting this eviction crisis.
Hey, let me let you in on a little bit of secret here. Something that obviously you didn't consider while you're shitting on us. You know, one of the reasons why they're kicking your dirty ass back to your homeland is because they're actually going to have to pay us reparations. You know that, why ain't you taking the responsibility for all the programs? All those programs are getting cut off for you so the money can go to the rightful places. Because as you understand now that the 14th Amendment wasn't about you.
I want to point out that in the 14th Amendment, it does not say all persons born in the United States become citizens of the United States.
That means you, Missy. So you can go.
Instead, they focus and laugh on us. I guess it gives them a break from their sucky ass life. At the end of the day, we're fine.
Family, we the most competent around the earth. Our lives are sucky. Who's not trying to be FBA? She got a septum ring while sitting over here in America on TikTok with contacts in her eyes and a wig with no edges. Again, go off septum ring.
Fine. You motherfuckers are the ones that need the prayers. You motherfuckers need the help.
And again, there's that handle. We got to know who these tethers are on our list. Maybe I need to pay her a visit. Because these people get to talking crazy about us, and they don't consider that. What if somebody just pick up that phone and be like, hey, what's her status? Can she be deported? Maybe she could be deported. Maybe she need to get up out of here since she has so much disdain for us. And here's another thing. She's only talking now. Oh, well, they over here laughing at us getting it. Ma'am, you have held disdain, anti-foundational Black American disdain since you've been here. And that's why we saying ain't nobody caping for you. Oh, well, they suck your ass lives. Well, I guess it's going to suck for you back in your homeland. See ya. Let's hear some more.
And I'll leave you with this. You can wrap up in it as a blanket, go to sleep on it, because this is the kind of truth that's going to be waiting for you in the morning when you wake up. If Black America feels so comfortable, and this is to who it applies to, it's not all of y'all, but it's a lot of y'all in my comments disrespecting foreign blacks, and I'm going to have to bring you back to reality.
No, you ain't bringing shit here because this ain't your country. So look here, septum ring. And again, family, Maybe y'all need to make sure that her paper's straight. Dig?
If you're doing so much better than foreign blacks and you don't want them in this country, why can't you fix the fact that you're still double-crossed in the penal system? You're double-crossed at these jobs. You commit a crime in this country as a black person, you'll be given 3 to 5 more times the sentencing than someone who's white. So it confuses me when y'all get in my comment section speaking as if you're privileged white men, but you're facing the same hurdles of discrimination the rest of us are facing.
No, because at the end of the day, we don't have your outcome. Hashtag fire up the chat.
Happy birthday, we're celebrating you today. Like Dr. King holiday, we ain't gonna do any work today. Happy birthday today, it's your beautiful day. And we gonna party all day like it's a freaking holiday.
Jim Kelly over there severing the tether.
I don't understand the crisis in this country. Look at Miami. Miami is the only place in this country where a black woman, black American, so this pertains to you, black American, 35-year sentence, appealed it, got life. Miami hands out life sentences, no chance of parole to blacks who commit certain crimes like it's candy. Candy on.
She act like she really telling us something. Like we're unaware of the history of this country. This is a brand new revelation. Never knew any of this happened before. No. Lord. Don't even have to bother asking this question.
Where's your family from?
The only question I would ask is, okay, well, where is your family from? And why are you so concerned about us over here in our homeland and you're not concerned with your homeland?
Halloween, among other things, among the discrimination that they face that's outside of the penal system, the job system. Y'all sit here and you holler about systemic oppression left and right every day we log in, but you want to do that to anybody who's foreign and black? Wake up.
She just makes another point. So again, our plight of black empowerment is bothersome to these tethers. Now that they have an issue with white America, they're now trying to all of a sudden bring up what we talk about. No. You cannot have it both ways, ma'am. And in this regard, you just simply won't.
You ain't better than us and you not above us. Because at the end of the day,
well, we are citizens and you ain't.
It don't matter if you're this kind of black or that kind of black. If they could have it their way, they wouldn't have none of us here.
That's not how it works, stupid.
And before I go, not to mention, back in the day, it used to be you had to work twice as hard to be seen as half as good. No, not today. If you're a black American, you have to work 5 times as good to be seen as a quarter of decent compared to your white counterpart.
Where is she living? You got to be 5 more pounds. What is she talking about? Oh my goodness. Boy, this woman got so much hatred. Look, are y'all getting the vitriol? And she's trying to act like her vitriol for foundational Black Americans is reactive. No, it ain't. This is how a lot of them feel. And you coming up here, why are you worried about us? You don't like us anyway. Is this your weak attempt to get somebody to do something for you? I'm confused. Because all I hear, your other video is shitting on especially Black women. And here you are again. Then you try to invoke a Black woman and be like, well, yeah, maybe y'all should give sympathy because this one Black woman went through something. We don't know her background. But I noticed that you are looking at yourself as different, just like that other fella I just played, and that the woman was actually with the fake tea sipper. She was doing the whole we thing. But this one here, oh no, she's letting her disdain, but she ain't telling you where she's from, by the way.
So that's one piece of tea you can clock. Not to mention, Black Americans are the highest race in the country fired for stealing time and things that are looked past when there's someone white in the picture.
Oh, really? Where are those numbers? Where's the proof of what you're saying right there? That ain't nowhere. But again, go off, septum ring.
Okay. Then you want to blame and say Haitians and Latinos, they're taking your job. Haitians are Latino, by the way, but you say Latinos are taking your job. I'm confused at the identity crisis here.
What identity crisis? We ain't them. Identity crisis? Oh, you got the context. Oh, well, she has glasses on. So, and a bonnet, by the way. Classic. They wear bonnets in your homeland? Is that what they do? They wear bonnets in your homeland? Here's another Mexican boyfriend having tether.
Black people feel like, well, the Hispanics didn't stick up for us when we needed them to be there for us. They didn't march with us. And I know some people feel like that. And I get it. Trust me, I do. But at the same time, what do you teach your children? Two wrongs do not make a right. So why don't you just be?
Nah, I don't teach my child that. We teach our children eye for an eye. That's you and your Caribbean upbringing, listening to being subject to the queen and shit. That ain't us. Speak for yourself, coon.
Be the bigger person, get out of your feelings, and stand up for what's right. That's what we do as Black people. We fight for justice.
We fight for our justice. We fight for our rights. It is not our job to be everybody's moral police. That's where you're confused. That is not our job, and it never has been. We have fought for, it was only us on them plantations, not everybody else. It was not a melting pot on the plantation. So stop it.
We know how to do it very well. So this is why I feel like the government, aka DT, ICE, whatever you want to call them, I feel like,
man, he still hasn't eclipsed Obama. None of y'all had this smoke for Obama. Stop making this a race issue and stop coming at us with this crap.
They're trying to tear us apart from each other.
Whoa.
Because
well, you just heard the last woman with the septum ring. She's not with us. What she's upset at is she just might get deported. And so she still just let her disdain for Black Americans go right all out of her mouth while supposedly looking like a Black American because they can't tell the difference. Well, she most definitely can in her heart. But go off.
they know that we are stronger together. If we band together, we can overcome this just like we overcome everything else that Black people have faced. So, I don't know. I feel like people in their feelings now. Get out your feelings. Do what's right.
No, we are doing what's right. And we're worried about us, ma'am. Do what's right. You know, I'll do what's right here. Damn them and damn their problems and damn your man. Because at the end of the day, where were you when those Mexican men were up and also Bucci Bear were up there messing with Connie Collins at the radio station when OG Skip had to go up there and the other brothers had to stand with her. Brothers from our neck of the woods. So what are you talking about? These people, yeah. So where was the Black and Brown standing in, or when Nuri Martinez was F him, he's with the blacks and all of that racist shit going on down there, or this other lady y'all got down there in LA that just told the 18th Streeters and these other gangs to start bucking on ICE. The hell are y'all be talking about? Man, y'all your tethers are delusional, man.
Amendment. When Donald Trump said that, the 14th Amendment was for the babies of slaves. He did not mean that he was supporting your FBA black behind.
Yes, bitch. He was. And see, Roland, I got to go back to you, Roland. See, this little delusional coon right here, this little tether, she believes what she just said. Ma'am, let me inform you that the reason why we delineated, that they know that there wasn't going to be any pushback separating the tethers out of our mix. We've been telling you, we're closed. FBA is closed. So to all of my FBA people supporting Trump, it's not about supporting Trump. We voted for the couch. But Trump did get some black votes. Why? Because look at Chicago. You want to keep denying all of those people who kept coming out in Chicago, or watching our reparations movements be infiltrated by tethers and held up by tethers, or watching other groups from your people try to co-opt our movements? So let me just go ahead and make a reality for you. Yes, it was about support, because FBAs are who this is about.
I want to point out that in the 14th Amendment, it does not say all persons born in the United States become citizens of the United States. It's all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof. That amendment was passed coming out of the Civil War. There's a reason it was passed coming out of the Civil War. Congress was afraid that the Democrats would try to undermine the results of that war by forbidding former slaves from voting. And
yeah, so that was actually about black people voting. So you keep wanting to say that Donald Trump didn't support that, and Donald Trump, he doesn't support you. Okay.
Y'all, FBA people are the biggest coons I've ever seen in my life, and it's embarrassing. Why are you out here on the
What do you know about a coon? Anyway, continue.
The internet talking about Donald Trump said that the FBA move, that the 14th Amendment was for the babies of slaves. He said something so spiritual. He really is sticking up for us. That's the truth. Y'all keep trying to cosplay.
Nobody has said that. These people, this is my problem with you third world tethers. Lying is second nature, and I don't get it. Maybe it's because you come from a backstabby, conning culture that lying is so natural. You just believe you can't speak without lying. That's all I get. I mean, what does anybody else have an answer on that? Like, why is dishonesty a fixture in these people's, like, they cannot relate in honesty. There's no honesty in these people.
Our culture, look, African Americans, we have a culture. We have our own African American subgroup culture. We do. Anybody who tries to deny that is weird. But just because African Americans have our own culture does not mean that we don't have ties to Africa. African American culture.
We? Who now? Because you're not a black American. You're not a foundational black American. So what are you talking about?
Culture literally originates from our ancestors who are displaced West Africans. And we...
No, that is not the truth. God, all these tethers, what? They claim to be so educated, but then they don't know the history of the land they're on.
We created a land here. We created a community here. And the more you guys try to dishonor your ancestors by coming on the internet and saying we have no ties to Africa, we've been here for 400 years, we're not African anymore, we're American, you sound slow.
Right. When I first heard that, I had to reflect on one of our great icons. One of the reasons why her tether ass is here, while still trying to claim being Black American, which she's not. We know nothing about, let me go ahead and get this out the screen so I can read this to you, Missy. We know nothing about Africa, although our roots are there in terms of our forebearers. But I mean, as far as the average Negro today, he knows nothing about Africa. And I think he's got to face the fact that he is an American. His culture is basically American. And one becomes adjusted to this when he realizes what he is. So to keep trying to take us to a continent that we ain't never experienced, to a land that we ain't never lived in, and to a culture we have never been part of, and then say, well, you're disrespecting your ancestors. What about our ancestors here?
You don't know why you sound slow? We built this country by force.
Does that change it being built by us? See, these little tethers don't know, like Cicero. Y'all remember Cicero the slave in the movie when he got caught? See, these little tethers don't be knowing shit about us. They think they do and get out here and they can pass off a lie. Man, we all could look at your face and see you ain't us. Number two, she's going on this whole, I'm sorry, she'll probably be, my mom and my parents are from Liberia, so I'm almost like a foundational Black American, whatever. But yeah. No, you got it wrong, ma'am. You got it wrong. I was going to say something, but I'm not even going to get into that yet. Let's hear more.
We were forced to build this country. We were forced to do this. We were forced to become entertainers. We were forced to do it. And
we were not forced to be entertainers. Entertaining is something that came natural. It still comes natural because we're creative people. See, again, a person talking outside of the experience while trying to make a relation to them being part of it. And they're not. You can, that's the other part. She just tried it again and it didn't land.
We did a damn good job doing it. We did. That's why I love being
African
American.
We do.
Because we pushed through some shit. But to deny your ancestral heritage, to deny where you really come from is so annoying to me, being xenophobic towards all these Africans. I see y'all like, well, yeah, deport the Africans. Deport them. Send them away. They're xenophobic. They don't like Black Americans. A lot of Africans love Black Americans.
Then let them hold spaces showing how much they love Black Americans. Because in turn, what we seen was a whole bunch of spaces on how they didn't. So that's on y'all to do. Because, see, we're home. You're not. Not our job. And you're not finna get over here pose like, well, I'm going to talk to him as one of them. You're not one of us. And we see you coming from a mile away. And to my you don't have any FBA people, but thank you for mentioning us. But to you, ma'am, and your people in your homeland, what we did in this country is again, you go use this word force, but you keep negating the fact that this was done. That means, like I said with Cicero, this is yours, or this is ours as much as yours. That is the sentiment of the freed slave or the runaway slave. You brought us here in chains. Now, this place is as much ours as it is yours. Maybe you need to learn that part of this life, ma'am, before you get on the internet talking shit. We don't owe them nothing.
And if they could send you back to Africa, if they could find a way to do it, they would.
No, they
Liberia,
won't. No, they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't.
Before.
Stop it.
Think they'll try again?
No.
Like, I just want y'all to sit on that.
Sit on this, ma'am. Nobody in America, no Black person in America could go any goddamn place in the world without America say so. Is that the sign of people that they want these people to leave? That you have to go get permission to leave the country? We can't go anywhere else in the world and set up shop. Oh, she's a Pan-Africanist. Oh, no wonder. She got that delusion. There's a few of y'all in my comments right now. Y'all so damn dishonest and ain't funny. And that's what I really have a major problem with, is the just overt dishonesty. Be freaking honest, man. Speaking of Pan-Africanists, to get to this before we get out of here.
Know your rights when it comes to ICE raids on our community. Know your rights when it comes to ICE attack on our community. You do not have to open your door.
No.
You have a right to ask them to leave.
That's it.
Man, if you don't get your punk ass up out of here with that. Look at these fools. Look at these fools. Yeah, y'all need to know y'all rights. It's a bunch of black folks out there, Pan-Africanists. Salute to Africa Town. See, these Pan-Africans in Africa Town. Africa Town is not Pan-African. And shit, for all intents and purposes, see, here's the thing. When you're moving in the or under the guise of Al-Kebulon, for sake, you have to recognize the groups as the groups, period. And if you can't do that, well, then you're not fit. Now, with that being said, I want to play this. I think this is the last one I got. No. 2 more videos before we go. 2 more, because the last one will be a few. Here, so let's get this in here.
They took a run. Many black African American people took it as, oh, you want to kiss my ass now? No, I don't want to kiss your ass now. I'm saying my people, oh, we don't need you to kiss my ass. Like, and there's none of that. Yeah. You know, and of course, Latino already started calling me an end lover. That black people are not doing anything for them. Black people don't have to march with you. They already did, so we could be here. The reason why in the polls we have the voting ballot in Spanish, Creole, and English is because of the civil rights movement.
Yes, right. Yeah.
Like the reason why I, as a Latina, could go to a public school that is not a shithole is because of the civil rights movement. So there's a lot of misconception when it comes to the civil rights movement. They just think that, oh, they just liberated the black people. No, black people were liberated before. Still didn't get what they were promised. And then the civil rights movement had to come. So black people, after being liberated, that they were not slaves anymore, had to have some rights. Which is, to me, is fucking crazy. The whole thing is crazy how people don't understand that. And it only makes me think that they just go through that in school like, twing.
Yeah, sounds pretty accurate. Yeah, see, it's funny how here's this Cuban immigrant. She gets it and understands. Why don't these so-called melanated individuals understand it? Funny, but I'm going to end on this note. There's a sister that made about a 4-minute video, and I'm just going to let it run. And I want her to share her opinion and understanding because she's cooking. So we're going to let her have the floor, and she's going to let her rip. And let everybody that's watching, okay. It's not just me with this opinion. Just saying.
The problem, because my post is about Black Americans, which you're not a Black American, even though you want to cosplay as one, because you already said that your parents are immigrants. So unless one of your parents is a Black American, you're not a Black American. And you already said that you were Caribbean. So you saying that you're Black American is not correct because Black American is an ethnicity, honey. And not only that, you're commenting on a post that's in response to somebody calling Black Americans white, because we are stating that if you are not in favor of Black Americans receiving reparations, then you do not deserve us to care about your issues, because
I just want to double down on that. And all of the videos that I have played this evening, there has not been one to advocate for reparations. Like she said, you just want us to get out, fight, support, and protect, and all of this. But when it comes down to even giving vocal support to our agenda, you can say, oh, well, you Black people are being deported like this, or Black people are being evicted at higher rates, and they just ain't got their stuff together. Well, then why aren't you advocating for us to get reparations? If you recognize you came here and was able to get so far ahead of Black Americans, just saying, Septum Ring, Back to the sister cooking.
Because you're not caring about ours. It's giving that y'all move here, y'all migrate here, and you believe that Black Americans are still the slaves of the land and that we're supposed to continuously work for every other group while we sit back and we get nothing in return. Every bite that Black Americans have fought for in this country, unfortunately, we have not been able to reap the full benefits of each and individual thing that we fought for. Every system put in place that immigrants get when they come here, because as much as y'all like to deny that y'all don't get assistance, that's a bold-faced lie. That's a bold-faced lie. Y'all be talking about, I came here with no money in my pocket, and all of a sudden y'all own businesses, y'all own cars, y'all own homes.
Like I said, third world lying is a beast. And hell yes, they get handouts, freebies, and all sorts of programs just for immigrants. We have housing programs here with down payments being given to illegals and $36,000 for a down payment, not a tax credit, 36 grand up front that you could go walk and get you a house. Black folks don't get that in America. Illegals do.
Please stop it. This is that xenophobic, anti-Black American rhetoric that I'm talking about. Anytime we bring up anything that's a specific issue within the Black American ethnicity community, here comes one of you talking about y'all are bigger than the program. Y'all really think that we should put our stuff aside and concentrate on you? Latinos are not in community with Black Americans. Like, let's be for real. Y'all talking about Afro-Latinos, the same ones who come over here and claim everything as our culture is theirs and say that we have no culture. I just seen a video of a Puerto Rican girl saying that it's not Black American culture in Chicago.
And what she's referring to, I made a post on X earlier, just a friendly reminder that when you were doing all the Hip Hop 50 and Puerto Ricans, co-creators of hip hop, and the Caribbean is the hip hop has Caribbean origin and all of that. Y'all remember all of that? You remember you doing that? Disrespecting our culture and history, trying to cosplay it, and then trying to rewrite history that a lot of us actually have lived through, so we know you're full of shit. And then you get some little young 20-something up here to, yeah, hip hop really came from the Caribbean. It didn't, genius. That's a lie. And so another reason that's another issue that you guys are having. That little thing ain't easily forgot. We know what you did, and we're pissed off about it. Hip hop ain't came from you. Y'all ain't created shit. You can't even get shit popping in your homeland. And come over here and act like you did something we did. Yeah, get your asses back to your country then. Partner.
In Chicago, where a ton of Black people from the South moved to Chicago. That's why there's such a high population of Black Americans. And our very culture, a whole bunch of Puerto Ricans are in their Puerto Rican parade doing Black American dances to Black American sounds, inspired sounds, and had the audacity talking about, this isn't Black American, this is Chicago culture. That's the...
Remember when Kamala Harris said hip hop is American culture? No, it's Black American. Period.
Erasure that y'all do when you come here. So absolutely not. We are not going to care about your issues anymore. The fact that we bring up our issues that are impacting our culture, and in response, you guys always bring up whatever issue that is impacting you like it's bigger than the program. It's not bigger than the program, baby.
Yep.
We, as the newest generations that are coming up, we are no longer putting other communities ahead of ours for the sake of just Blackness. Because when y'all come here, y'all make it super clear that y'all are a different type of Black. Y'all only want to say that y'all are united in Blackness because when it benefits you. Remember, I know Black. That's right. You're not, because Blackness has always been established in the United States of America as our ethnicity. Right. Blackness has not been established as an ethnicity in any other part of this world.
Nope.
Blackness is a race, and also in America, for foundational Black Americans, it's an ethnicity. So you can take your yap off my page, because at the end of the day, over here, it's Black American pride. Black American.
Facts.
So don't cosplay Black American unless you have a parent who's actually Black American, because the only parent that you spoke on was your mother, and you said that she was an immigrant. So I don't know what your father is. Maybe you're half Black American, but let's not get it twisted. My post is about seeking reparations, not about immigration. Bye-bye.
Woo! Shit. She was cooking. Lord. But salute to that sister, y'all, man. Yeah, salute to that sister. And again, thanks to Black Native from X, Woods, I think one came from Woods. And I think Cornbread Mafia. Salute to all of y'all. And a good, solid, honorable mention to Red Joker. And man, and salute to everybody else out here in this battle and struggle against these well, I shouldn't say these, but this non-FBA wake-up call that all of these people are getting. And again, it's funny. See, because of the disdain for us, it's so hard for them to shake. And so with Miss Septimering, Lady Septimering, never forget that. Like, she came out talking mad shit against Black America. And yeah, but they ain't got their stuff together, and nobody taking responsibility, and blah, 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 this and blah, 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 that. What does your homeland look like? That's what I would want to know. What does your damn homeland look like? And looking at her, she looks African. So I guess her homeland is people shitting in the street. That's cool. Shit in the streets, eating bush meat, and smelling like cheetah pea. That's a freaking win, right? It is not. It just is not. Oh, you know what? I didn't even get to Joy Reid. Well, Joy Reid. I think we already got the message here. And so Joy wasn't talking shit. But you heard from majority of these tethers. And also, wait a minute though. Let me get where's my sister? Oh, yeah. One more. Well, actually, no, let me go ahead and do this. Okay, so let's get this in here. Bear with me 1 second. God dog it, not what I was doing. There. Okay, let me go ahead and play this little Joy Reid piece.
Aggressive move to deport any brown or Black person that this regime can get their hands on in order to meet Stephen Miller's 3,000 brown person a day quota. They have a literal quota that ICE is required to meet.
See, the other woman, she messes it up for y'all, because as y'all are trying to be like, oh, it's about Black. And then you have one of your tethers coming out making a distinction between y'all and us while trying to scream unity. That's hilarious.
Which is the reason why they are stopping and frisking particularly brown people, but brown and Black people anywhere they can get them. Dodger Stadium, the parking lot at Disneyland, at restaurants, Home Depots, warehouses, anywhere they can get them.
Well, probably gonna go where the criminal. That's like saying the police don't cruise drug zones looking for people selling drugs. Yeah, that's kind of what they do. That's the job they're in, you know. That's patrol. Anyway, let's hear this. This will be the last video.
Today. Who's mad today are the people who hate to see Black Americans feel entitled to this land, feel entitled to this country because it is ours.
Yep.
Who's mad are the people who really, truly hate Black Americans, hate to see us coming, love to see us depicted as thugs, love to see us depicted as drug dealers and baby mamas, love to see us depicted as degenerates, hate to see us winning, hate to see us being acknowledged by the President of the United States, hate to see us being celebrated, hate to see us being established as the foundational Americans of this here country. The president knows what's up when it comes to Black Americans who have been here. Our ancestors have been here since prior to the foundation of this country, and some of y'all hate to see it. There are Black Americans who hate to see us love ourselves. Y'all really believe that there is anybody around here? Look at that. That right there, all of that belong to my parents. There are people right now in America who believe that the status of Black Americans can be removed, can be revoked. There are people in America right now, Americans, who believe that Black people can be sent anywhere. Black Americans can be sent anywhere. This is our country. We've been here. We've literally been here since prior to the establishment of the Constitution. And y'all believe that there are people, y'all believe that Donald Trump is so hateful and evil and maniacal. Y'all think he's the devil or something. And y'all believe that he has the power to just wipe out our history. Y'all say that. Y'all believe he has the power to just wipe out our history and put us on boats or ships or planes. I don't know, buses. I don't know how he would do it and just send us away. Y'all believe that we are too weak to fight for what belongs to us. Y'all don't even understand we the only ones been fighting this whole time. We've not been wiped out, okay? Our population has not grown, but our population has been pretty steady.
Actually, our population has most definitely grown, but abortion whacks off. Yeah, pause. Abortion cuts our numbers down tremendously by the year.
Even with mass incarceration, even with the crack and cocaine epidemics, even with redlining, even with them putting projects on top of cemeteries, even with every single way these maniacal forces have tried to eliminate Black Americans, we're still here. We're everywhere. We are not some figment of your imagination. We're not just sketches in a book. You don't just find us in museums. We're around and we're staying. We're literally not going anywhere. We don't die, we multiply. And this is a turning point in our history. Things are really about to change, and I'm so grateful for it. What a time to become a mother. What a time to become a mother to an amazing, beautiful Black boy. I am so excited. I love it here. How about you?
Salute to that, sister. Salute to you. I can dig it. That's dope. And congratulations on the new one. We need more of that. Nice, more of these Black babies. So, with that being said, I'm going to play a familiar clip before we leave because I hear a lot of talk about, well, you guys are trying to separate us. Let me inform you of something. One of our greats informed us to separate from you. Why? Because you are not about Black empowerment.
Good evening, Dr. Clark. I really would like you to tell me what's the best way to handle an African American that gets in the way of the liberation of African Americans. I believe in this unity, and I'd love to love all of them, embrace them. Please tell me how to do it strategically.
Put space between you. Don't try to reform him. Give him the information, hope that he will use it. If he don't use it, then don't waste time letting him obstruct the movement. People who don't believe in themselves can't believe in you. They can't help you. It's heartbreaking to know that there are some of us we have to write off so the rest of us can survive.
That's why we here at the Independent Black Voice channel always remind you and proclaim it loudly and boldly before all of our friends, family, loved ones, and enemies. Babylon is fallen. Babylon is fallen. Let it fall and let us rise. Can you dig it? Now, family, there's a lot of these idiots out here that's going to try to sit up here and say, you guys are doing too much. You guys are xenophobic. We're not xenophobic, and we are separating ourselves from anybody who is not down with supporting our empowerment. And we heard from a lot of people who ain't about our empowerment, but only about our use. And so if you guys think that we are only here to serve you, and you have to pay us no honor, well, I'll speak for myself. beatzillapdx, the Independent Black Voice channel, those of you in the chat and the comments, the Black Grassroots, and the Voices of New Black Media, I know it's safe to say I speak for all parties involved when we proudly dedicate this song to you.
Get up off of that cocaine and get up off of that crack. Get yourself together and get your mind back.
Yes, indeed. You know, man, they can't tell no difference between a black person and an African wearing flip-flops and a button-down shirt with sweats.
Ha ha ha.
Yeah, I kind of think they can. Anyway, y'all can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at beatzillapdx. You can email me at outrealtruth@gmail.com. And if you feel so inclined to put some money in the bucket by way of donation, you can definitely do so at CashApp. That is $beatzillapdx. And we also have PayPal, which is Zilla Muzak at PayPal. That is ZILLAMUZAK. And folks, there's a lot of people out here that notice how all of the videos I played by these imposters and proclaimed tethers, notice how all of them avoided talking about reparations. Always remember why they hate us.
It's a cultural divide. I'm going to get it on the floor.
You really got to do it.
40 acres in the mule. This is bigger than the music.
Hashtag hands off our reparations.
You have no rights here. We're not under the empire.
Oh, salute to all of the contributors to this evening. And keep in mind, just like I have on the screen here, keep in mind that Democrats voted to fine American citizens for not buying insurance and then conspired to give it all to give illegal aliens for free. Not only that, though, forced Americans to go get that jab and then has these people coming in here for free. You could lose your job without getting that jab, but these day laborers can come right on in and go straight to work for Amazon, work for all of these, because I'm noticed ever since Trump been in office, all of my Amazon drivers now speak English. They don't need a phone to translate anything they're doing. How convenient for the actual seller or the buyers. That's great. So with that being said, we've got to finna get up out of here because these people have got enough of my attention for the evening. And so I hope you guys enjoyed my breakdowns of these and my reactions, because these people are crazy and they're getting their wake-up call and they are still being disrespectful to foundational Black Americans and our ancestors. So, don't know what to tell you. But in the words of Cat Williams,
you shouldn't have been talking shit.
Family, y'all stay black, stay vigilant, stay alive. Black first, black first, black first. Oh. Make sure you go subscribe to Zilla Perspectives. Subscribe to Zilla Perspectives. Subscribe to Zilla Perspectives. Shalom, y'all. Peace. Have a good night.
One more time, we are giving it for a child Marshall, y'all. We're gonna tell you one more time if you didn't know. It's time to get doo-doo-dum. Dookie, that's where we come from. We got the sounds, we know they're like, it's time to